Matt with Parm's Landscape here. I want to talk to you about a grassy weed that I can't kill and it gets us fired. Clumping Tall Fescue is probably the most invasive lawn type that we deal with at Parm's. And I'm standing in an area that is absolutely covered in it. Hundreds and hundreds of people we talk with every year about specifically this grassy weed. A lot of homeowners mistake Clumping Tall Fescue for crabgrass. So here we have crabgrass right here, and we have Clumping Tall Fescue right here. I would say 9 out of 10 homeowners that I meet with, and I say, do you know what this is? 90% of the time, homeowners will tell me crabgrass. Now, we're in September right now, so now they look very different. But for most of the year, Clumping Tall Fescue and crabgrass do actually look somewhat similar. So it is understandable why people mistake Clumping Tall Fescue with crabgrass. However, here is the big problem, especially comparing these two. Crabgrass at the end of the year, which it's starting to do right now, so it's a great time to show this, is going to go to seed. So all these purple tops on it are seed pods. The actual blades are going to start turning purple here shortly too. What crabgrass is doing right now, it is dropping seed, and then the entire plant is going to die. If a crabgrass preventer is put down in spring, you can prevent crabgrass from coming back. Clumping Tall Fescue, on the other hand, is not going to drop any seed. Clumping Tall Fescue is going to go dormant just like the rest of your lawn, and then it's going to come from the same root system every year. The biggest problem with Clumping Tall Fescue is there is no product on the market that will kill Clumping Tall Fescue that is safe for the rest of your lawn. Worse, Clumping Tall Fescue, no matter what you do or your lawn care company does, Clumping Tall Fescue is going to continue to grow. So next year, this patch of Clumping Tall Fescue right here is going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Now, it's important to know that Clumping Tall Fescue is not going to spread by doing something like mowing. So, I mean, if you mow over this Clumping Tall Fescue, you're not going to carry it along. It's going to spread within clumps. So you can see in this area that I'm in right now, the Clumping Tall Fescue problem is extremely present in this area. So each one of these, you can see also why it's called Clumping Tall Fescue. Each one of these clumps is an area of Clumping Tall Fescue. Often homeowners ask me why they have issues with Clumping Tall Fescue, often stating, why do I have issues with Clumping Tall Fescue when my neighbors don't? Clumping Tall Fescue gets in home lawns in 3 major ways. Either it was in the soil that was brought in when there was an area of lawn established. If there's only 1 or 2 if there's only 1 or 2 small areas of it, it could have come out of a bird's butt when a bird ate something and pooped on the lawn, and then it kind of started to take over. Or it could have been growing on the property at the time right before the lawn was established, and instead of spraying to kill the Clumping Tall Fescue, it was tilled in and then came up within the lawn. Very often when I am talking to a homeowner that has significant issues with Clumping Tall Fescue, I am meeting with that client 3 to 5 years after their lawn was originally installed. The most important part of a lawn establishment is to spray to kill the entire property prior to starting the lawn establishment process. When that doesn't happen, this is what homeowners deal with: an invasive grass that no one can kill, and it's growing and expanding all over the place within the lawn. This is why it's so important that when you're hiring a company to establish your lawn, you are hiring a company that is going to spray to kill the entire property prior to starting the lawn establishment process. The reason I meet with so many homeowners 3 to 5 years after their lawn was originally installed is because when Clumping Tall Fescue starts, people don't realize they have a problem. Because in a new lawn, as the lawn is originally germinating, here's what Clumping Tall Fescue will look like. Most homeowners would not realize or even be aware of that. However, 3 years later, that turns into this. And again, there's no product on the market that'll kill that won't kill the rest of the lawn. So the only solution that a homeowner has is to kill the entire lawn or entire sections of their lawn with a product like Roundup, which is a non-selective herbicide, wait for that to die, and then reestablish. For that reason, most homeowners that I talk to about Clumping Tall Fescue say something like, well, at least it's green and they choose to live with it. However, I think it's very important that homeowners understand what they're living with and that it's not crabgrass and there's nothing a lawn care company can do about it apart from killing entire sections of their lawn. So if you have clumping tall fescue within your lawn, the only way to kill it is with a non-selective herbicide like Roundup. So in the backpack sprayer here, I have Roundup, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray specific areas of clumping tall fescue. Now, when you're spraying, one thing to keep in mind is you're not watering the grass. All you're doing is getting the blades wet. So after you spray, you're gonna wait a week or two, you're gonna wait for the clumping tall fescue to totally die. These areas will be then completely dead. Then what I'm gonna do in a few weeks is I'm gonna come out with a shovel, I'm gonna dig those areas out, then I'm gonna get rid of them, and I'm going to put down some soil and some seed. Next step is the most time-consuming part, and that's watering twice a day for 3 weeks. Sometimes people ask, well, if I'm gonna dig it out anyway, why do I need to spray? Why don't I just dig it out? And the reason why the spraying piece is so important for eradicating clumping tall fescue is because clumping tall fescue has an extremely deep root system. And if you don't kill it and you just skim it off, oftentimes what you're doing is you're leaving some of the root system and it's gonna come right back. One other distinction that I think is important to note in regards to the life cycle difference between crabgrass and clumping tall fescue is that you wouldn't even see crabgrass until June. So if you see something that you believe is crabgrass very early in the season, that is probably, you're very likely looking at clumping tall fescue and not crabgrass. And that is because crabgrass dies at the end of the year, leaves those seed behind, and that seed germinates in spring. So that seed takes some time in spring to fully mature into crabgrass. So if it's before June and you see something that looks like crabgrass, you're very likely, unfortunately, looking at clumping tall fescue.